Hi, good morning. Obviously, this is a different way than normal to contact you all, but I assume that you've seen the university president's email and now know that we're going fully online for the next few weeks, followed by a series of alternative assessments. So I just wanted to maybe flesh that out a little bit for yourselves and also just check in, see how everybody's getting on. I know that obviously some of the students are still around Galway, some of you have probably gone home elsewhere in Ireland, and some of you have gone further afield back to your families in various international jurisdictions around the world. So I hope everybody's keeping safe and well. So as I said, I just wanted to have a brief little video message just to convey a few things. Obviously, as I said, the President has indicated that there will be a series of alternative assessments in place of the standard university exams this semester. And the way these assessments will go will depend on each module and each lecture in the module concerned. So some modules will have projects, some will have assignments, some will have take-home essays, etc. And each lecture will contact you about that individually. So just a couple of other things, I suppose. Just for my own lectures now for the next few weeks, I plan to use a variety of e-learning technologies. So recorded lectures using Kaltura, podcasts, maybe some YouTube videos. I might do some live interactive ones. However, because people are now probably spread around the world, and I know some of you don't have necessarily great broadband, I won't use live online lectures that much. Also, I know some of you are obviously busy doing projects at the moment, so I'd suggest that you finish those off before worrying about these alternative assessments. As a matter of interest, of course, as well as a health crisis that's ongoing, what's happening in the last few weeks and what will happen over the next few months is actually a really strong interest to anyone who's studying economics and finance, because essentially the rule book has been torn up. You've got the fiscal pact in Europe essentially now not necessarily operating using the rule book that they had set out. You have the Fed announcing a series of new QE measures going far beyond they've gone before. You're going to be looking at a new way of doing business. You're going to look at what's going to be the future of globalization, what's going to be the future of cash, what's going to be the future of work, etc., etc. So when this all ends, the world and the world economy particularly will look very different than what it does today. So as students of economics and finance, it's something that you should bear in mind as you progress through your studies and through your careers. I won't keep you long. As I said, one other thing I might suggest is when you do get the assessments down the line, obviously we do want to ensure academic integrity. In other words, we don't want you copying off each other. However, we do want you checking in, maybe to assist each other in terms of figuring out what's been asked, maybe to give yourself some advice about what to cover, and so on and so forth. And more fundamentally, I suppose you should check in anyway with your classmates, your friends, to ensure that although we're meant to practice social distancing, obviously, we're not necessarily meant to be completely isolated from everybody around us. And this is particularly important for you because obviously, as well as your physical health, we're very concerned that your mental well-being will hold up over the next while this crisis obviously probably will escalate in Ireland for the next short while. A couple of other final things before I leave you. The first one is when you do get your assessments, you're going to get assessments from a series of lecturers across different modules, and you might feel a little bit overwhelmed. So what I would say, the first thing you do, make a note of what's been asked, what are the timetables associated with those, and make a plan and stick to the plan and do one thing at a time. Don't focus on the entire set of assessments you're going to need to do. Just make sure you do one at a time and you'll get through this reasonably well. As I said, the other thing I would suggest that you do as well, obviously as well as your lecture and your assessments, there's a couple of things I suppose I would say is that as well as developing your knowledge, we're also trying to develop your skills and competences while you're at university. And you should take the opportunity over the next few weeks, although it's in the context of something that is obviously very serious, as an opportunity to develop some of those other skills and competences. So whether those are technological skills, the ability to write better essays, etc. So think of it as a challenge and trying to overcome that challenge for the next few weeks. Just finally, I will be doing some podcasts and videos and so on. So just to say, I have a new teaching assistant lined up. This is him here. So if you do happen to hear any barking over these podcasts or videos, you'll know who to blame. Good luck for now. Bye.